Spirits of the South. Spirits of the East. Spirits of the West. You come here with you who love these people. These are your brothers, your sisters. These are your sons and your daughters, your friends, your loved ones. So love is in the core of those 4 directions. And living in those 4 directions is the power of the earth in your bones, in your flesh, and your skulls. Is the power of water living in your blood, the lymphs, the movement of water in your bodies. The power of air that we all breathe together, uniting us in one great movement of life. The power of fire, the red of our blood, the heat of the sun, the heat of our hearts. All uniting in love to be alive and to support these 33 extraordinary beings who have been on a path of which they will not return. There is only one way, and that's forwards.
Hello, friends. Are you in your bodies? You are very beautiful. So our first responsibility and honor is to welcome you. Thank you so much for coming, for choosing to be here today. And thank you to our organization, to our trustees, our staff, our faculty, and our ministers who are here in our congregation. Thank you so much for coming. And then to friends and family who have come to witness the enormously simple but profound step that these beloved people are making. Thank you so much for coming. It is such a joy to be meeting in person. We've held 2 online ordinations, which have been astoundingly beautiful. And we also all know that in this experience that we've been through globally for a couple of years, if there's been any value in it, at least the value of us coming back into each other's physical presence is quite extraordinary. So may today be part of that celebration of bringing us back into contact, and with the awareness that throughout the time of these 2 very surprising years as humanity, it's exactly the time that these 33 people, in fact 34, took their vows yesterday, and 1 has chosen out of their volition not to be here, but this was a class of 34 amazing people, and is a class of 34. So they have worked through these 2 years, working online when we needed to, meeting in person when we could, filling in all the gaps in between, and making relationship real in the many, many ways that we're given opportunities to experiment with that. So I think the simple thing that I want to say is that OneSpirit's purpose is not actually to train interfaith ministers or OneSpirit ministers. The actual purpose of the organization is to enable a world where people feel free to be themselves and to co-create a respectful, love-filled environment that welcomes all beings beyond and included human forms. We do that by running an extraordinary training, and there are many other ways that we might express that in the future. So here we have an expression of people who've been through our 2-year training. But their purpose is to take what you have kind of discovered or enabled in yourselves into the world. That is OneSpirit's work, is to be in the world. And the training is a facilitator of that. And the world that we are wanting to be in and hope to create is one that presents, I guess, a vision of the way things could be. There's no lack of awareness in this room that we are living in a world right now that is fraught politically, with warfare, with divisions, with centuries of humanity's trauma expressing itself. OneSpirit's work is to acknowledge that and to find ways for us as human beings to heal ourselves so that we cannot replicate those patterns that humanity has created from the past. And that is really difficult work. And we know that we fail in our vision. The sort of work that OneSpirit and many other organizations and individuals around the world participate in. We continually can't get it right. However, I wish to affirm the vision that is here and that we are joined with, again, this sense of so many others. What OneSpirit does is not unique in the world, but it is one of the places where, as Christopher said, the values of beauty and goodness and truth are cherished. And at the heart of that is love. And I welcome all of us here today to this love experiment. And may it serve not only those of us gathered here today and online, but the whole of this extraordinary cosmos. May our work today enable all beings to flourish. Thank you.
So everybody here, all knowing again and again how very, very welcome you are. So this is a moment to also welcome each other. One way that we can understand what welcome really means is thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being here with me. But first of all, to introduce this, these ordinands here, they have just returned from an intensive retreat, at the end of which they shared personal vows. And they were honoured in this and supported and witnessed by each other and by quite a lot of our wider community of ministers and members of staff. You, their family and friends, and our OneSpirit ministers, we're now asking you, we're all involved in witnessing and supporting these ordinands' shared organisational intentions of commitment. The beauty of the symbolic meaning of ordination is that it honours the truth that each person is capable of making deeply significant contributions to the lives of others, not just through their profession, but more importantly, through their whole way of being in the world. So our ordination ceremony, it symbolically seeks to recognise the blessing of our embodiment of spirit and the contribution of our inner wholeness. This makes a contribution to the way we live our lives, performing our tasks as we go about daily life, and to the quality of ours, not just ours, but of other people's lives. The life of the planet, you might say. So, this is where I turn around now. Ordinance. With this in mind, please stand. So I'm going to invite you all now to make your statements of commitment.
Okay, so graduate ministers, this commitment is for you. Graduate ministers, here to witness and honour these ordinands. Will you promise to encourage and support, welcome these new ministers into their ministry? If so, please respond with I do. And family and friends, if you thought you were going to escape, this commitment is for you. Okay, so, to all family and friends, here to uphold and encourage your loved ones. Do you promise to do this? If so, will you respond with I will?
I will. So thank you once again for being here. Yeah. So this moment now, it's going to, physically, it's going to look like a little bit of a dance. We're going to be moving around and moving around each other. There's going to be bells and people will be standing up, coming to the altar. They're going to be held by some of our ministers. So it's going to look like a dance on the outside. And on the inside, it is a moment, a peak, not an end, but a peaking moment of the work that these folks have done over these 2 years and probably for all their lives. It's a moment that we call ordination. It's an internal moment, that internal world is massive. The internal journey is massive. And this moment that you all come to, it's in a way, it's like a marriage or a remarriage, a commitment, an honouring, and it's a receiving from deep within, from all around. So you can hold this, and you at home can hold this in yourself, in your presence, by your witnessing of what goes on, and by holding a stillness, a prayer, an intention for this to go deeply. So you make a difference. You watching from wherever you are make a difference to all these people here as we go through this ordination, this moment of union, of recognizing the union inside. So thank you for your attention, thank you for your prayer, thank you for your witnessing, and whatever other name you want to give that presence to. And dear dear people here. Now is a moment for you to breathe, to center yourselves. It may be that you want to close your eyes. It may be that you want to go into that heart resonance that you know so well. Maybe that you want to say your vows to yourself. Whatever way for you to prepare yourself, that inner place.
Gajananam Bhuta Ganadhi Shevitam Kabit Jambu Palasar Bakshitam
What a joy, privilege, and no small miracle it is to be here today. And now, as ministers, spirituality alive confronts the individual with the most momentous option life can present. It calls the soul to the highest adventure it can undertake. The call is to confront reality, to master the self. These words are adapted from Huston Smith, possibly the most Marmite of authors on our reading list. It's quite a declaration. And whether we like Huston Smith or not, I believe we're here today because we all heard and answered this soul calling, and that this training is truly spirituality alive. This soul calling was heeded during a time of great volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. We can see people across the world at the touch of a button watch the war unfolding in Ukraine and the polar ice caps melting in real time on tiny screens, and yet feel disconnected to our fellow human and Mother Earth. We have access to more information than ever before, and yet we struggle to sit with the nuances of our times and find our own truths without atrophying into binary thinking and hardened ideologies. We are meaning-making creatures, and we're hardwired for connection and creativity. That is what it means to be human. But we're being sent on a wild goose chase to find meaning, connection, and creativity in the wrong places, in consumerism and social media, for example. As John O'Donoghue puts it, our time is hungry in spirit. This is important work now more than ever in our lifetime, even if, or should I say, especially when, people are falling through the cracks of their own religions, communities, schools, and places of work. They need spirituality alive. So how are we now qualified to show people that they are seen, heard, connected, and that their life is meaningful? We're qualified because we met this training with commitment, courage, and energy. And it met us by being supportive, experiential, integrated, and held in grace. Firstly, we were supported by the faculty. We were encouraged, nurtured, and believed in. And to return to Huston Smith just for a short while, while there were dangers and difficulties as we heeded our soul calling, it was not, as he suggests, a lonely journey, because we were held in community every step of the way.
I have a poem. It's called Sacred Experiment. Today, will you join me in a sacred experiment? Just for today, let's stop pretending that love is a snob for whom we'll never be good enough. Today, let's gift ourselves the dark chocolate. Moira, chocolate? The dark chocolate of our shadows. Let's bring love down from the mountaintop to flood our lowlands too. Let's cease making love a ravishing, lofty destination and bring her down to earth to let her join us in every ordinary step. Today, we can decide our imperfect heart is worthy of love right now, just as it is, without dressing it up. What if love desires more of a collapse than a straight spine, more of a willingness to stumble than a perfect step? What if she's offering her hand to you now, before you've even learned the dance? Darling, let's stop perfecting our grapes and today allow our acceptance to surrender into wine. Yes, just for today, let's just see how all that goes. Isn't that magical? And magic is what life is about. Healers on the raw edge of love. Standing, we belong, not just as a OneSpirit community, but we belong here as humans, broken humans in a broken world, bringing healing, bringing love, bringing transformation. I'm going to torment you with one more poem. Shabastari. dive deeply into a drop of water, and 100 oceans will flood you. Look into a mote of dust, and 1,000,000 nameless beings will jump out. 100 harvests rest in a germ of a barley seed, and in the right light, an insect wing reflects the sea. Why be surprised? Deep in the pupil of my eye lie cosmic rays, and the center of my heart beats with the pulse of the cosmos. So may each of us look into a mote of dust and see those nameless beings jumping out. May each of us dive deeply into a drop of water and allow 100 oceans to flood over us. May each of us look at a tiny grain of any kind of seed and see the 100 harvests that are contained therein. May we take the time to look at the insect's wing and see reflected the sea through that wing. May we recognize the cosmic, the divine that lies within us, and may the center of our hearts continue to beat and deepen with the pulse of the cosmos. So may all who've been present with us at home, here, now, may all the supporting energies, the power of the four directions, the power of the elements, may everything, all that is seen and unseen, now be released. We thank you, we bless you, blessed be.